So you guys were talking about the church having lost its purpose. So can you tell me more about that?
Yeah, the problem is that the fundamental concept of Scientology is to help free people and to clear the planet. Now, there are three things which demonstrate how insanely off the rails and how that has nothing to do with what happens in the Church of Miscavige anymore. One is the ideologue strategy. This has now become the watchword of everything that seems to go on in Scientology. Everybody's working on creating these ideologues, and Miscavige has managed to convince everyone, and I've heard it now and I see it in these promo pieces that are sent out, when all orgs are ideal orgs, we will take the planet, and Scientology will be everywhere, and effectively planetary clearing will be accomplished. Okay, let's just take that proposition as true. I mean, it's obviously ridiculous, but let's just take the proposition as true. We will clear the planet when all orgs are ideal orgs.
Yeah.
There's 100 orgs that need to have these palaces purchased for them and renovated. Mm-hmm. Allocate $5 million per. That's $500 million. It could be done in 2 months. They actually have the money to be able to do that. So if that really is the solution to planetary clearing, why isn't it being done? Why is it waiting upon every Scientologist to give money to make it happen when the money has already been given to make it happen,
right.
At least in theory? The second one is, if this Mark 8 meter, which when that Mark 8 meter comes out, whenever that's going to be, I mean, the thing's been manufactured now for 4 years or 5 years.
6 years.
Whenever that finally gets released, it's going to get released with all this hoopla about how it's a miracle, it's the latest and greatest thing that's going to produce case gain that was never available before, etc., etc.
And actually, you can predict what it's going to be because you've heard the spiel.
Of course.
Because DM has given the spiel to Int, and that is that you can't go OT without this meter.
Exactly.
It's a requisite. It's not a luxury. It's a necessity.
Right.
So
if
right
that's
now
the case, then why are those meters sitting in a warehouse?
Right.
Why are they not made available to the public?
Right.
I mean, it's nutty. And the third thing, what was the third thing I was talking about?
You were talking about idle orgs. You were talking superpower.
Oh, that's the other one.
Superpower is the third end of this troika.
Yeah, superpower. In 1978, LRH wrote the advices about superpower. He actually laid out what was to be done, what all the rundowns were. Dan Kuhn has made mention of this on the blog a number of times. It was originally intended as a rundown for staff,
right.
Not for public, but for staff. It was never exported to the staff. It's been now is promoted as the next carrot. This is what's coming, the great solution. Here is where everybody is going to have all their problems solved, is superpower. Mm-hmm. Well, if it really is that, then why hasn't it already been released? It doesn't require a building to be able to deliver the superpower rundowns. It requires the rundowns, an auditor, and an auditing room. That's what it requires. There's no special a running program track, which it wasn't even a part of superpower originally.
Right.
But it's insane.
And so what you're getting down to is a pattern, though, because every one of these things is being held out and promoted to the Scientology public as the solution.
Right.
Right? And they have been and they will be promoted as that, and yet they're withheld. Okay? And yet if the purpose is planetary clearing, and superpower is the greatest, important thing for planetary clearing, what do it?
Right.
Right.
If the meter's the only thing that's going to get you, up to your next OT level, then provide it.
Right.
If the idle org, in and of itself, is a solution to create, unprecedented expansion, then build them.
Right.
Like now.
But they're not being done. And I think what he's pointing out through this this, he's covering essentially the the complete array of what the future releases are that they're using to collect, tens and hundreds of millions of dollars, are exactly that. They're the latest carrot.
Right.
And when he's...
Yeah, these things are carrots. They're not actually things to be attained, because as soon as they are actually available, there's no carrot anymore. There's nothing left to be able to promote to people. This is what, like, it's OT 9 and 10 has been going on for who knows how long, and now OT 9 and 10 has been subsumed into the superpower and ideal orgs, and if we only have this, and if we have that, and if we have this, and if we have that, and it's all if we have, you will be able to go free.
Right.
Well, and in order to have, that means if you give me your money,
Yeah.
and enough of it for long enough, I will give you this carrot here, which is, here is how you're going to go free.
It goes like this. If
Right.
I can have, you can then do, and maybe someday be.
Right.
Exactly.
All right? And that is the complete, and there we go again. It always comes back to reverse. You reverse the cycle.
Right.
The be, do, have cycle is now the have, do, be cycle. And I'll tell you when those things will start arriving. They will only begin arriving, those three things, when Miscavige has developed the new carrot. And maybe the new carrot's going to be grounding technology. Because he'll... you know what I'm saying?
There's going to have to be something.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, he'll come up with some real slick thing, like, hand grips, done to, the end of the thing will have electrodes that fit your particular, with the perfect alloy.
Designed by CST and manufactured in Taiwan.
Yes.
They'll be wonderful.
Taiwan, incidentally. They manufactured actually in mainland China. Taiwan, I mean, that was part of the whole design thing, but I mean, literally what Russ Bellin was looking for and what Russ Bellin got, because DM demanded it, was slave labor that was cheaper than Sea Org slave labor. I mean, they've literally gone the whole route of the most abusive corporate greed that goes on in this country, to the point where $50 a week is just way too expensive. He went to where he could get it for less than that.
It's insane.
I don't know how you can get more money motivated, which obviously is the lowest rung on the motivation scale.
Right. Okay.